Here's what I could stand in front of even the great Irvin Magic Johnson and say, are we going to sit here with a straight face and say that Steph Curry doesn't warrant consideration as the greatest point guard who ever lived?
Yeah, his position says point guard.
But when you look at Steph Curry, not only is he a spot-up shooter, he's a shooter off the dribble. He's a shooter from both corners, both wings. You literally have to defend Steph Curry the moment he steps past half.
He is a great player.
Everyone has a different answer when the conversation turns to the greatest point guard in NBA history. Some stand firmly behind Magic Johnson, while others champion Isaiah Thomas or Oscar Robertson. But when the players who defend Steph Curry, the coaches who game plan against him, and even his peers all reach the same conclusion, the debate takes on an entirely new meaning.
I'm on the court while Steph is doing that, which is another one.
Yeah,
biggest upset in NBA or in sports history, but also one of the great moments in sports history.
Especially last.
What player is the hardest to game plan for?
It's always been Steph.
Draymond, you said it.
Steph is the hardest guy to game plan for because of like everything he creates. He creates everything off his movement. And people always want to try to duplicate.
There's so many, like, I know it's gonna sound crazy. I feel like the point guard position, we like in the best place maybe it's ever been. Like we might be the deepest the position's ever been. So you can go down the line. It's hard for me not to say Steph. Okay. Because I really believe he's the best point guard of our generation. Yeah. When you scout him.
This isn't about highlights or statistics anymore. It's about the players themselves explaining why the most dangerous weapon the NBA has ever seen might also be the greatest point guard to ever touch a basketball.
I think Steph is a shooting guard. I don't think that he's a point guard. And that's not to knock him. You can be that position. I think Steph, his best version is off the ball because of the space that he creates with his movement.
Steph said some wild shit to y'all.
Yeah, he said some wild shit. He did.
Was it warranted?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't no wild shit. It was more like I'm him.
Don't get this shit twisted.
Everybody else was paying attention to the court, but it was me, Malik Fitz, Nick Stauskas, and maybe Peyton heard it. So we sitting there, and he looked. He just like, enjoy y'all last win.
Drop the mic.
That was game 3.
Ever. And there'll be somebody.
For decades, the greatest point guard debate seemed impossible to settle because every generation had its own icon. Magic Johnson revolutionized the game with unmatched size, vision, and 5 championships. John Stockton became the NBA's all-time assist leader, while Isaiah Thomas built his legacy by leading Detroit past the Lakers, Celtics, and Bulls. Every era defined greatness differently, until Steph Curry changed the conversation forever.
This summer you said that you're the best point guard of all time. Michael Jordan disagreed, and then Magic Johnson, he said himself. What do you think about that dialogue? Do you think that's more of just a generational thing?
It's all that. It's also the, the unsolvable debate that...
Are you the best point guard ever?
Yes. Yes. It's me and Magic, that's the conversation?
Yeah. It's just
a great player.
Then, Steph Curry changed everything. He didn't fit the traditional point guard mold. He rewrote it. His limitless shooting stretched defenses from 30 feet, while his constant movement created chaos even without the ball. Overnight, the position evolved, forcing opponents and future point guards to adapt to an entirely new standard of greatness.
Because, as we can look at stats all day, right? We can look at stats and try to judge. I wasn't around with Magic.
Me either.
I know, right? So
I have so much respect.
I know there's not a lot of 6'9" point guard. No one's trying to. I'm thinking about the '90s growing up. There was nobody trying to be a 6'9" point guard, right? I mean, it just. But I can witness and watch every kid trying to be Curry.
He can literally pull up from 40. So what I'm saying is when you take that into consideration, and then the fact that an entire league has been altered because now it's a damn requirement to be able to shoot the 3 for at least half the team to be on the court. It's a requirement because of Steph Curry.
You other dudes, like if we playing like Luka or Shea, I look at them, I be like, damn, y'all got to guard him tonight. Good luck. I'll be in the gap and help you, right? You know what I mean? But Steph is like, he off the ball the whole time. So, like, if whoever guard him gets screened crazy, you got to switch. And then it's
the game itself changed because Steph Curry kept succeeding with plays that were once considered impossible. His deep shooting, constant movement, and unmatched gravity forced basketball to evolve. Today, many NBA players no longer compare Curry to other point guards. They compare every point guard to Curry. Even Magic Johnson has praised Steph for revolutionizing the sport, calling him the greatest shooter in basketball history and acknowledging that he transformed how modern offenses are played.
He's not throwing it.
Right.
But I would never say anything bad about the young man because I love him. I love watching him play.
He's a great player.
Yes, he is.
And a
he's
really good guy.
You know, both of us did one thing. We both changed the way the game was.
My list, my top 5.
I don't.
Magic Johnson's praise goes beyond mutual respect. It reflects one legend recognizing another who transformed the game in his own way. Despite every reason to protect his own legacy, Magic has consistently celebrated Steph Curry's revolutionary impact. He's not alone. LeBron James, after facing Curry in 4 straight NBA Finals, countless regular season matchups, and Olympic practices, understands his greatness better than almost anyone. Few players have experienced Curry's relentless pressure in the biggest moments. That's why LeBron's admiration carries special weight, revealing what many fans often overlook about Steph's true influence.
Steph Curry's performance has me reconsidering my Allen Iverson debate.
So before you get into that, we asked the chat, is Steph the greatest PG ever? We got more than 2,000 votes. 72% say yes, 28% say no. So Rashad,
Okay.
why are you reconsidering your Steph Allen Iverson? And just for the people who may not have watched the show, what is that argument?
The argument, Brandon feels like Steph is hands down above, better than Allen Iverson.
Greatest shooter God has ever created. His marksmanship is unrivaled. He is a career 42.8% shooter from three-point range. There are people who haven't shot 40% from 3 in one season. Most haven't.
Right.
This dude does it religiously.
Determination, the want, the will that I saw out of Steph Curry, that light-skinned brother with the green eyes last night. For 3.5 quarters, I thought Denver was going to eventually pull away with this game. For him to step up and do what he did, overshadowing Aaron Gordon, historic night, 50 points. Jokic with a 21-point triple-double. Jamal Murray with 25 points. And
Steph Curry's impact goes far beyond points and assists. His greatest weapon is his gravity, the ability to pull defenders far from the basket, creating open space for teammates before he even touches the ball. Opposing coaches build entire game plans around limiting him, yet he still warps defenses into impossible positions. LeBron James has often described Curry as a player who changes the geometry of basketball. While most superstars dominate with the ball in their hands, Steph controls games through constant movement, making him one of the most exhausting players in NBA history to defend.
What would it be?
I mean, his jumper for sure, his shot, and KD's pull-up has he left.
The earlier, and I've said this about you. I mean this, like, as an observer, I have not seen a basketball player consistently get to a flow state better than you. Are there exercises you do? Is it your training? Like, how are you able to capture that? We talked about the look away shot. That's being in flow state, right?
Yeah.
Paul George once described guarding Steph Curry as running a marathon while solving a math problem at the same time. Every second you relax, Curry slips behind another screen. By the time you recover, the shot is already on its way. And more often than not, it's going in. His non-stop movement forces all 5 defenders to communicate perfectly on every possession. One missed assignment, one late switch, or one brief hesitation is all Curry needs. His basketball IQ allows him to instantly recognize defensive mistakes, turning the smallest opening into 3 points before opponents even realize what happened.
Remember the game, and I'd love for you to tell me I'm full of it, is you don't really stop. So like you talked about this shot as a kid, to now it's the same shot but up here. Like I don't really feel like you stop, and if you do, it's like this split second.
Only probably on like just standard catch and shoot, where I always tell people, like I would teach Clay's form to anybody who said, hey, how do I shoot a basketball? I would like pull up a clip of Clay.
Perfect.
And it's just, that's freaking perfect. 10 out of 10, no notes, right?
Kevin Durant offers one of the clearest perspectives on Steph Curry's greatness after spending years alongside him during the Warriors dynasty. What makes Curry unique is that everyone knows exactly what he wants to do, yet they still struggle to stop him. Unlike most superstars, he becomes even more dangerous after giving up the ball. His constant relocation, sharp changes of direction, and tireless movement through screens force defenders into impossible decisions. Eventually, the smallest defensive mistake appears, and Curry wastes no time turning it into a devastating shot.
One of my biggest regrets, and Steph, I'm sure you would have been the light-skinned man either way. You was gonna be the light-skinned man, you know what I'm saying? That was destined for you. But I feel like when you came to the Garden and I let Raymond Felton's pride get in the way and he had 50, I feel like that's when you decided you was just gonna rape the league.
You know, when you're the road team and the home crowd gives you a standing ovation, you graduated into a really elite category. Last night, Steph Curry reminds us once again of how great he is, how easy he makes it look, and more importantly, the Golden State Warriors are something to deal with now.
That relentless pressure is why coaches often describe facing the Golden State Warriors as a mental battle as much as a physical one. Even players who have beaten Steph Curry admit that defending him for an entire game feels like plugging holes in a sinking ship. Solve one problem, and another immediately appears. A possession can seem completely under control before Curry suddenly buries 3 incredible shots in less than a minute, flipping the game's momentum instantly. As NBA players studied his game more closely, many realized that calling him the greatest shooter ever doesn't fully capture his influence. His shooting is only the finish. The real damage begins with his movement, spacing, and ability to distort defenses long before the ball ever leaves his hands.
I mean, you got some proprietary information right now. I feel like most of it is.
I feel like
just,
Brandon Payne can give me this.
he's gonna clip the hell out of this because I was where I was going. Because a part of the training, and anybody who's watched me train in the summers, or how I approach even in-season skill work and all that, like there's a level of obsession about the details.
Whether you're a Warriors fan or not, like Channing said earlier in the chat, I see why the Warrior fans love him. I would love rooting for him because it's like now there's a moment where all NBA fans can unite, except for Celtics fans. All NBA fans can unite and be like, oh, all of these players that I root against throughout the season and I can't stand, and when they troll and when they talk shit, I can't stand them. But, when it's USA, let's go. And so I think that was the beautiful thing about what Steph did. And he didn't need to do anything. But
the moment Steph Curry crosses half court, defenses abandon conventional strategy. Every defender becomes aware that he can pull up from well beyond the three-point line. Double teams form, passing lanes shrink, help defenders leave their assignments, and entire defensive schemes shift toward a player who may not even have the ball. As the game progresses, Curry's nonstop movement gradually wears opponents down. Eventually, one defender gets tired, hesitates, or loses sight of him for a split second. That's all Curry needs before another deep 3 splashes through the net and the arena erupts.
Then it's like, damn, now I got to chase this nigga through, 2-3 screens. It's like, it's a long night. Right. So it's hard not to say Steph. We obviously lost to Shea in the finals, and he's probably going to go back-to-back MVP, so he's probably the other one. But, yeah, man, you can go down the line. Our position is like, I think it's as deep as it's ever been.
Right, so you say Steph.
Because your best player, who was a Hall of Famer, who was top 5 player in the league, that's how he wants to play. Kawhi's not going to run around like that. James Harden ain't going to run like that. You can't duplicate that. Steph is the player that loves to play that way. When you have your best player that wants to play that way, it's easy to do. But if you don't have that personnel and have a guys to do that, it's hard to play that style of basketball.
Yeah, Steph do what he did in the Olympics under pressure like that, to carry all of those guys on his back. Because if it's not for him, we looking at a real conversation of like, what the fuck is going on?
A lot of legacies.
What makes Steph Curry so difficult to defend is that there is no perfect answer. Press him too tightly, and he'll blow by with his quick first step. Give him even a sliver of space, and he'll launch a deep 3 before the defender can recover. Double team him, and he calmly finds the open teammate. Trap him near half court, and he escapes the pressure, relocates, and gets the ball back for another scoring chance. Curry routinely knocks down off-balance 3s, fires before screens are fully set, and confidently shoots from several feet beyond the arc with plenty of time left on the shot clock. Just a decade earlier, those attempts would have been labeled reckless and almost guaranteed a trip to the bench. Instead, Curry turned them into one of basketball's most unstoppable weapons, permanently changing how the game is played at every level.
Harder to guard, Allen Iverson or Steph?
To be honest, I wouldn't want to guard. Look, I've guarded AI. I don't want to guard Steph.
Running around all
Because
the damn time.
because with AI, like
he had the ball, but if he gave it up, you know, right? If he gave it up, you.
Today, fans often start celebrating before Steph Curry's shot even reaches the rim because they've watched him make those impossible attempts countless times. That confidence was earned through years of relentless practice, reshaping how basketball views shot selection. Curry turned what were once considered reckless long-range attempts into highly efficient offensive weapons, forcing coaches at every level to rethink spacing, strategy, and the definition of a good shot. Before Curry, shooting from such extreme distances was discouraged. Now it's part of modern basketball. He rarely relies on flashy celebrations, preferring to let his game do the talking. One deep three quickly becomes another, and within moments, the scoreboard and the entire momentum of the game has completely changed.
His dedication in the weight room. When I say dedicate, that man is in the weight room every single day.
So he getting buff right now.
He in the weight room after shoot around. He in the weight room before the game. He doing a full lift after the game.
Wow. There's ever no rest, right? He passed it. He's gone. Like you really. It's like guarding AI and Rip Hamilton at the same time, right? And that's you know, you ain't trying to do that. So I personally don't want to do that.
That's a nightmare.
Like his rookie year, he did give me 20-something. And I had to switch off. Like, you know, I ain't guarding that. Well, give me the Monte Ellis dude. the real fast guy.
That quiet confidence spreads throughout his team because his teammates understand that no deficit is ever too large when Curry is on the floor. Fans remain glued to every possession because they know a 10-point deficit can disappear within a matter of minutes, while opposing crowds watch with growing anxiety because they have witnessed that scenario unfold too many times before. There is another reason NBA players consistently mention Curry whenever discussions about greatness arise, and it has everything to do with the way he dominates, despite lacking many of the traditional physical advantages associated with basketball superstars. He does not rely on overwhelming size, extraordinary strength, or unmatched athleticism, yet he somehow remains the player opposing defenses fear most every time they step onto the court.
There's so many, like, I know it's gonna sound crazy. I feel like the point guard position, we like in the best place maybe it's ever been. Like we might be the deepest the position's ever been. So you can go down the line. It's hard for me not to say Steph because I really believe he's the best point guard of our generation. He like when you scout him, you other dudes like if we playing like Luka or Shea.
Coming. I'm like, the confidence is changing. G, he going back to Davidson on us, bro. Nah, his jersey ain't red, bro. Don't let him do that. You feel me? I'm like, he doing the shit that we was like, you can't do that in the league. He started doing it. In the garden. Yeah, you going too fast shooting that jumper now. That's too much. You ain't even holding it up no more. He was falling and shit. No, bro. Now he talking to the crowd.
For decades, basketball favored players with overwhelming size, strength, or athleticism. Steph Curry changed that by mastering timing, precision, footwork, conditioning, and decision-making to an extraordinary level. Instead of relying on physical dominance, he solved the game like a puzzle, recognizing patterns before anyone else. What also separates Curry from many elite scorers is his willingness to trust teammates and keep the offense flowing. He constantly moves without the ball, creating new opportunities with every possession. Ironically, giving the ball up often makes him even more dangerous, as his relentless movement forces defenders into mistakes that quickly become scoring opportunities.
One, he built Golden State into a dynasty from scratch. They had made the playoffs one time in 18 years before Steph began leading them to the playoffs. Obviously, the Lakers had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was the MVP Magic's rookie year, and some other great players and a great history. Secondly, he didn't have the supporting cast Magic had. Kareem was the #1 pick and was averaging 20 points up until like 1986. Then, and I know he had Durant, but
I heard what y'all was saying.
The most frightening part of facing Steph Curry is that everyone knows what's coming, yet stopping it remains incredibly difficult. Once he catches fire, every possession feels dangerous and every touch builds anticipation. Fans stand before the ball, even leaves his hands because they've seen the impossible become routine. Defenders pick him up near half court, while coaches call timeouts simply to disrupt his rhythm. Curry didn't just push basketball's boundaries, he redefined them, forcing future generations to adapt to a new standard. To truly understand why NBA players admire him so deeply, you have to look beyond the highlight reels. The spectacular shots are unforgettable, but his true greatness lies in the movement, spacing, and constant pressure he creates between every basket.
The hardest person to guard in the league by far, in my eyes. But Steph Curry is the most impactful player on a team in the league.
Because the gravity.
Bro,
the gravity.
You have to guard him as well on the ball as you do off. Like, once he gets off the ball, you're probably more scared of him off the ball than you are on.
Andrew Wiggins was huge.
Tell me who's your one.
One? Dang, that's tough. That's not tough. I'm gonna go with Steph Curry. Ooh.
Best point guard of all time.
Change the game of basketball and saw me on every level. On every level in the whole world.
Every Steph Curry possession begins with movement. He rarely waits for the ball to find him. Instead, he constantly creates opportunities before receiving a pass, sprinting through screens, changing direction without warning, cutting back to the perimeter, and suddenly appearing in open space. Defenders are forced to chase him through a maze of screens while trying to avoid getting caught behind teammates. That nonstop activity doesn't just create open shots for Curry, it opens the floor for everyone else. His conditioning is just as remarkable as his shooting. While most players slow down as fatigue sets in, Curry seems to accelerate. In the fourth quarter, when defenders are exhausted, he is still flying around screens with relentless energy, turning tired legs and small defensive mistakes into game-changing baskets.
They both changed the game. Arenas, if you listen to the podcast, said, you know, everybody's trying to be Steph now, which is true, but everybody was trying to be Magic.
The point is that you get a guy like him that has done everything. He knows, because he's chasing a legacy. He's not like chasing Michael Jordan. He's chasing, like, I want to add every single thing so I can be and leave it all out on the table. So he needed to win a gold medal from a standpoint of, there's other guys that have represented our country under very difficult circumstances and came through and really showed up for the country. Steph has now done that.
That's when Steph Curry takes over. Like a marathon runner competing against sprinters, he understands that fatigue leads to mistakes, and mistakes against him almost always become points. His ball handling deserves as much recognition as his shooting because it creates the separation that makes those impossible shots possible. Every crossover is deliberate, every hesitation calculated, and every dribble forces defenders to guess whether he's driving to the rim or pulling up from deep. Curry is equally willing to make the extra pass, set a screen, or let a teammate shine. That unselfish style makes him even harder to defend because opponents never know exactly when he'll attack. He patiently lets the game unfold, then strikes instantly when the opportunity appears. That rare balance of patience, precision, and aggression is one of the greatest reasons for his lasting dominance.
Steph is sure like to play. Well, he'll pass the ball.
Are you and Steph a package deal? Are you going to coach until Steph leaves?
Well, I would never leave him, I can tell you that. I love Steph. I'm so incredibly lucky to have coached him for 12 years. I think every coach kind of dreams of, coaching somebody like Steph, who is...
Steph passed Michael Jordan for the most 30-point games after 35-year-olds among guards. What makes it so tough to perform like this at this stage of a career as a guard?
Well, I think maybe Steph's most underrated quality is just his endurance and his incredible fitness level. He's worked so hard over the years. You look at pictures of him from his first few years in the league, and he doesn't even look like the same guy. He's just built up his body.
Unlike many elite scorers, Steph Curry never feels the need to dominate every possession. He understands that one explosive run can erase an entire quarter of quiet play. That's why he's comfortable staying patient, knowing momentum can shift in seconds. Countless games have followed the same pattern. 3 competitive quarters, a close score, and then Curry catches fire. One transition 3 becomes another, the crowd erupts, the opposing coach burns a timeout, and suddenly a 5-point game turns into a 15-point lead before anyone can react. Opponents know that feeling all too well because they've experienced it firsthand. Even when defenders execute nearly perfect coverage, forcing him several feet beyond the arc, staying balanced, and contesting with a hand in his face, Curry still knocks down impossible shots. After enough of those moments, doubt begins to creep in. Defenders start overcommitting, opening driving lanes, or hesitate to help on teammates for fear of leaving Curry open. Against him, every defensive decision carries enormous consequences, and one mistake can change the entire game.
The way their offense is and the way he impacts the offense, like, he has so much gravity that it kind of opens up other things for everybody else too. So just find Steph. Is he coming off a screen? Does he have the ball? Does he not have the ball? It's constant of paranoia, I guess, for lack of a better word, of like trying to limit him and just trying to find a way to slow him down.
That's one of the best descriptions.
Wins his 4th title, and along with that, he goes 34-7 in the closeout game.
Yep.
Finally wins Finals MVP.
Yep.
Is this Curry's greatest achievement in his career?
No question about it.
Okay.
There is no doubt about this is Steph Curry's crowning achievement. And it's not just because it was his best finals. It was without a doubt, though.
Steph Curry's greatest weapon may not be his shooting alone. It is the doubt he creates in every defense. Once that uncertainty creeps in, everything changes. Rotations become slower, communication starts breaking down, and defenders overreact to every cut, screen, and fake because they know leaving Curry open for even half a second can result in 3 points. That is why coaches spend days preparing detailed game plans, only to abandon parts of them once the game begins. Basketball is usually built on discipline and predictable reactions, but against Curry, it becomes controlled chaos, where the normal defensive rules no longer seem to apply. Even his pregame warm-ups have become legendary, reflecting the relentless preparation behind his success. His greatness was never built on tricks or overwhelming athleticism. It was earned through tireless work, elite conditioning, exceptional skill, and complete confidence in his abilities. Curry transformed shooting from a valuable weapon into the centerpiece of modern basketball, changing how the game is played at every level. That is why NBA players speak about him with such admiration. You can study him, respect him, and defend him nearly perfectly, but stopping him for an entire night remains one of basketball's greatest challenges. That unique ability to reshape defenses, shift momentum, and redefine the game is why so many believe Steph Curry belongs at the very top of the greatest point guard debate.